So the two largest parties emerge from these elections with plenty of work to do. But it's what's happening in Northern Ireland that could potentially have the biggest impact. Our data and economics editor, Ed Conway, has been crunching the numbers all day and is here with his assessment.
So many different divergent stories here going on. It's worth just taking a look at some of them. Have a look at this. So we've got England, we've got those council results in England. We'll also bring you more on Scotland and on Wales. But let's start with Northern Ireland. The Assembly elections here in Northern Ireland, they are counting. And here's the interesting thing so far. Have a look at the share of the vote from those first preference votes that we have in Northern Ireland. Single transferable vote system, so quite complicated. But we do have a sense of how it's going. Sinn Fein in the lead there in terms of the biggest party in terms of the share of the vote, then the DUP, then the Alliance, so non-aligned party, then the Ulster Unionists. But have a look at this over here. You can see the change in the share of the vote compared with last time. Sinn Fein only up a bit, but it's the DUP who are down sharply. And the biggest winners in comparison with last time around, the Alliance party there, non-aligned party. And it's worth just taking a look at if you take these unionist parties here, the DUP and Ulster Unionists, and Sinn Fein, the nationalist parties, and put them together, something else starts to emerge here. So we're looking at the alignment of different parties, and they are broadly nationalist, unionist parties. They are broadly neck and neck. But it's the non-aligned parties, primarily Alliance, which is starting to creep up. And you can see that over here. Look, the two traditional wings here down, but non-aligned parties are on the way up. So a lot of people will be talking about Sinn Fein, but there's another seismic shift happening within Northern Irish politics, potentially. In England, though, the seismic shift is potentially going against Boris Johnson. If you look at the colour of the different councils that we've heard from in England, well, it is certainly a pattern with lots of red there and lots of shifts away from the Conservative Party. If we look at different regions of England, you see this pretty clearly. So looking all the way from the south down through to other parts of England. And look, in the south, Tory vote down by 7%, 7.1% compared with last time. In the east, down by more than 3%, down by more than 2% in London and in the Midlands and in the north as well. But here's the striking thing. A lot of focus on London, Wandsworth, Westminster, places like that going to the Labour Party. Yes, they did better in London. This is London than last time around. But everywhere else, look, the south, the east, the north, Midlands, they were down. They weren't up. The only party who did really well in almost every part of England, it's the Lib Dems. You can see those orange bars in positive territory. So good news for the Lib Dems there. And if you take all of the data that we've had from England, try and do a projection. What would this mean for the House of Commons if you were going to have a vote in the House of Commons? Well, here it is. This is our Sky News projection, and it suggests a hung parliament. Look at the numbers here. Conservatives with 278 seats, Labour 271, SNP 50, Lib Dem 28, and here is the crucial thing. Look at that blue bar. Does it get to the 326 mark you need for a majority in the House of Commons? No, it is 48 seats short. Boris Johnson's majority gone overnight. Theoretically, if this were to turn into a House of Commons vote, that's what we'd see. And a lot of people in the Tory party and elsewhere will be looking at these numbers and working out what next.